Hey everybody, we're live this week. See, you can barely see my eyes, but that's okay. Um, Hope you enjoyed the meetup this week. We had a meetup this week. I think it was 2.5, maybe two, going closer to 3 hours long. Um, it's usually how long we go. We do talk about a variety of things. We did premiere that this week. Um, I saw some of your comments about start to include health into our shows. And I also saw the comments about more meetups. Not I don't know if that means more meetups posted because we have meetups posted, or do you want just the meetups to premiere? I'm not sure what that meant because the meetups are already posted there. Um, but you get probably more value by coming to the meetups, which brings me to another point. All right, so I know a lot of you are in the meetups and you come every Wednesday, but here's the problem that I see continuously happen, and we've been doing meetups now for I don't know 6 years. You come to the meetups, you sit there for 2 hours or however long if you had to do something or whatever, and then I give you some guidance on something, and then you leave. And then once you leave, you have something to do, and then you never ask questions. And so then when we get off the meetup, and it's time to come back the following week, you're scrambling because you didn't do what you needed to do from the last show, and you didn't understand. When I shouldn't say the last show, the last meetup, then you don't understand. So I don't know how I can help you. Right? The meetups are recorded. Um, we have the Slack channel. We have um, study session times. Like I used to do study session times. I mean, I don't know how else to help you, right? There's we got one skill away from 200K, which some of you all need to maybe focus on um, a path, right? I'm looking at stuff online. Like I went on, what's his name? Anthony O'Neill at the table. He's pushing the tech stuff now, and what I have seen. I mean, I even went to the comments. My comment got deleted, so I had to repost again because I was mad because my comment got deleted, and it was more or less like, he was saying like how you can make $1 million. And I've shown you all how you all can make $1 million in tech, how you can go about getting these jobs. Like I say, if you're getting a job that's paying 200,000 for 5 years, your gross would be 1 million. But again, you got to remember, like your gross would be 1 million. You got to also remember, like where are you going to invest that money? That's why I kind of switched up the theme on tech stocks and jobs, because I want you to understand that you make this money, but where do you invest this money? Again, people will argue you down about what's the best investment, what's not the best investment, what you do, when to do it, how to do it, this, that, and other. Look, understand what assets are, understand how to build wealth, understand there's many different asset classes. We're going to talk about some asset classes today. We're going to talk about some private equity. We're going to talk about, I don't know where it's going to take me today. I got a range of topics, and there may be some overlap from here to the next show, but the next show is going to be really focused on cybersecurity and so forth. I'm trying to figure out why this lighting keeps flickering. Maybe because I have on the hat, but I'm looking at it on the screen over here and it's flickering. So I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe I need to close my blinds. I don't know. But I want to make sure that you all understand that um, I've been watching a lot of videos this week. I've been watching a lot of content. I've been working a lot this week. And the consensus of the videos that I've been watching and seeing and reading and going through stocks and looking at things, the consensus is that, well, first off, let's back up. The consensus, the major consensus is if you are a single woman, you're outpacing married couples in terms of building wealth. I had to pull up that article. I had found that article weeks ago, and I didn't get a chance to do it to bring that up. But that's one. But what the consensus is, what I've been seeing, is that um, you're not going to have enough money for retirement. Um, Let me look this up right quick. That's what I've been seeing, and um, no, not single. Single. Hold on, I'm looking it up. And shout out to everybody who's in the chat right now. AD, I saw you out there. Um, yeah, yeah, I don't want the Bloomberg one because I think I gotta pay for the Bloomberg one. But that may be where the article came from. Katie, Don Watts, Natasha, um, what's out there? Stacy, how you doing? Good morning. Hold on, I'm looking for the, yeah. All right, I found it. It's a little small article. Yeah, I found it. I found it weeks ago. I have it in one of my show logs that I want to talk about. I know it will probably offend some people, but it is what it is. Whatever. So the other thing that I also have seen is this narrative to change what cities look like. You're welcome, Katie. I'm glad you came out to and join. I think it was your first time, correct? Coming to our meetup. I think it was. I could be wrong. But I appreciate you, everybody coming out. I appreciate y'all when y'all stay on for the extra 30 minutes. Um, because sometimes those 30 minutes you get more content, more knowledge drop than ever before. All right, so before I continue to talk and give my thoughts and so forth, make sure y'all hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you tweet this out, share this content with others. Grab your kids, your mom, your daddy, anybody. Make sure you spread the word. Remember, no state, no date. The shirts are out, and right now we're gonna drop a word from our sponsor, and go from there. All right, see y'all in a minute. Hey everybody, welcome to Women in Linux. I am Tam, and Dee is in the background, and we just want to share with you some of the perks of being here on our channel. All right, so first things first, if you want to connect with us on social media, connect with us anywhere on social media at Women in Linux. If that's just too much for you, you can always come and find us on womeninlinux.org. And if that's not enough, we have even more perks where you can hit the connect button. Once you hit connect button, you put your email address in here, and once you put your email address in here, it'll connect with us in our Slack group. We have tons of resources in our Slack group. People looking for jobs, people just looking for advice, people looking for information, and so forth. Right. So again, this is Slack. It's not Discord. So on with using Slack, warn you, it is resource heavy. So you may need to use either the web browser, or if you're on your phone, you should be fine. But if you're on your desktop, and we know most of you connect on your computer, it's easier to open it up in your web browser so it doesn't take up so much memory or so many processes and so forth. That's just an FYI. That's how I use it. Okay. And if you would like to shop with us, we still have our stuff from our 5 year stuff. Still good. We're working on more T-shirts. No, no estate, no date. We're still working on that. But again, if you want to shop and you want to get some merch, feel free to come here and get some merch. Again, if you come over here and click on all products, you'll see on all the products that we have, from hoodies to masks and so forth and so on. Right. And if that isn't good enough for you, you can donate. You can always donate with your time. You can donate with your money. So, how do you donate with your time? You donate with your time by saying, "Hey, I would like to do a presentation, or I like to volunteer on helping us grow the channel." You retweet, you share this with other members. In fact, for those of you that come here every single week, we know you come here every single week and you don't subscribe. Subscribe. That helps us grow the channel. That helps us get more content to you. Hey, research isn't easy. I'm not getting paid to do research. I wish it was at a university, but hey, I'm bringing this to you, right? I'm bringing this to you and us and for others, right? So if that doesn't work, you can always donate on PayPal by clicking the donate button. Once you hit the donate button, you have your own denominations in which you can donate. And if that doesn't work to you, for you can always reach out to D and you can cut a check and send a check. That works for us as well. All right. So, what are some other things that we actually do have as well? Right. So, we have a discount with IT Pro TV. You get 30% off. I've used IT Pro TV myself. I've done interviews with them. I'll pull those up as well too. But as you can see, I'm logging into IT Pro TV. What are the benefits here? You need to learn how you learn. So, one of the things you can do in IT Pro TV, you can come over here, you can click on courses, and it gives you a list of courses that's separating them out by certification, and also separate them out by learning paths. You're like, Tameika, what does that mean? My four basic principles, or my four basic foundations of skill sets that you should have is Linux. You should also have an automation tool, whether it's Terraform or Ansible. You should know at least a cloud. I don't care. Pick either one. And finally, last but not least, security. And security comes in multiple forms: security of the operating system, security of the application, and also security of containers, right? And cloud security. So it's multiple facets when we're talking about security. Those are your four basics that you're going to need to to get you a job and then move you up. All right. And we're going to talk about our membership here in another video, but I just want to get this out to you. All right. So that's 30% off of IT Pro TV. And last but not least, our Calendly. We have set up for our Calendly. Let me pull that up. I think I have it saved in my browser here, so I can just go straight to it. If not, I'll get it from D here. Here we go, right here. All right. So with Calendly, we have one-on-one sessions. That's where you get to talk to either me or D, and you can request either one. But where you get to talk to us in a one-on-one session, right? Interview prep. Some of you are getting ready for interviews, or you've never interviewed before. We want to prep you for an interview. Resume review. Let's go over what you have, or let's pull all your skills together. Let's get things formatted properly. Let's get everything going. And last but not least, career assessment. What is your journey? What could it look like? What could you be going through? What are your next steps? Some of you are transitioning, some of you are not, some of you are looking to transition, and some of you are just trying to figure out what is your next step. So, by saying all of this, we want you to enjoy your time here at Women in Linux. And also, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the share button, and last but not least, thank yourself that you actually did it. What's going on? Casual economist, everybody, welcome back. Adrian, what's going on? Natasha, I see your message. Be uninstalling stuff. This how you miss out. Mm. All right, so let's offend some people this week. uh, maybe not. You may not be offended. I don't make the headlines. I don't make the articles. I'm just reporting. But let me copy over one more thing so we can go in order. This may seem like I'm hopping around, but it's a method to my madness. And you will see. I think I copied this one over there. Yeah. Yeah, I copied that one. And we'll end on no, we need this one too. I think I put that over there. No, I didn't. Okay. I'm almost ready, D. All right, let's get busy. All right. So, in just reading stuff this week, there's changes that are coming to different cities. We're gonna talk about some different ways how you can invest in this, how you can look at this, how this plays out for you in terms of building wealth. Right? Just give you some ideas, just give you some thoughts, be creative with this, understand where your skill sets are, understand when to hire, and also understand what that could look like for you in your city and how you can utilize that as a marketing tool, if you want to say, right? So, and we're gonna also talk about some private equity, and then on the next show we'll get into some more deep dive technical talks and so forth. So I have an idea like where I want to go. It's not that crazy, but you'll see. All right. So first things up, Wall Street's most coddled generation in for a rude offers return awakening. Who do you think is the most coddled generation? Because the word on the street is, and I'm just gonna put it out there, word on the street is Gen X is one of the most coddled generations, is what I'm hearing. That's what's the word on the street. Gen X is the most coddled generation. Natasha Jim, how you doing? That's what they say. You tell me. Is Gen X coddled? Are millennials coddled? You tell me. Because what I remember, it was I was a latchkey kid, so I don't know if that's coddled or not. I don't know if that's coddled or not, but let's go. All right. It says the most coddled generation that Wall Street has ever encountered is about to find out what it really means to go to work. The word is coming from C suites of the big banks, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, and Goldman Sachs. The CEOs of these firms made their bones back in the day and the price paid for a lucrative career on Wall Street was long hours while being screamed at by your boss. Now they want to turn back the clock, even if that means getting on the wrong side of the influx of the pampered millennials and Gen Zers whom they needed to hire during the long bull market. They won't say this publicly, of course, but they're secretly welcoming the looming economic and Wall Street deal making slowdown was a way to reassert the control over the woke masses. The stock market and the deal making boom extended incredible leverage to the class of Wall Street employees brainwashed by woke college professors, administrators, into believing any and all of their feelings are important and essential, including not wanting to work so hard. It's like get your ass back in here so y'all can work. All right. Wall Street, despite its darn rep, succumbed to the pressure, transforming itself into something like a college safe space because it needed entry in associate level bodies to process deals and trades, and faced competition for the big tech. That meant more perks for grunts of the business. Think stuff like free Pelotons or top higher pay, flexible work hours, and demands to work from home well after the COVID pandemic subsided. Right? There go Jamie Dimon, all the billionaires sitting up talking like you need to be back in there. It also meant accepting more of the new generation, even if it meant lower productivity. Wall Street execs used to brag that they slept in the office under the desk when big deals were online. Now up and commerce embrace something known as quiet quitting, where doing the bare minimum is the norm. How does that Wall Street grunt work? So let me stop right there, right? So I've been seeing about quiet quitting. We've been seeing all this stuff about overemployed. We have been seeing things about um, people saying that, and we've seen this for years, stay at a job long enough to do X, Y, and Z, but most people are staying at jobs 2 or 3 years, which brought up another conversation that I was actually having with my mom because I was just like, where does the money go if you are in a pension, right? You have a pension fund and you have your husband and wife, or the wife dies, or the father dies, or whatever the case may be. The mother dies, or the father dies, either one, and you have a pension fund. It's like, don't it continue to go to the kids? And she was saying, she's like, not all pension funds are the same. They don't all work that way. And I was like, well, how does that work? Say I have a pension, right? I'm not talking about a 401k. Say I have a pension and I worked on Wall Street for 30 or 40 years, right? And then I pass away and it goes to my husband. And he passed away and the kids don't get nothing. Like, how does that work? I wanted to know, so I had to look this up. I'm gonna have to research this because I'm like, all that money I done worked hard for and everything. He's like, "Well, go back to the fund. It goes back to the fund." And I'm like, go back to the fund, and I done worked all them years. That doesn't sound like a good deal to me. That sounds like a bad deal to me. That's just to me. That's just to me. I haven't investigated this. I don't know. I just may be talking out the side of my neck, but whatever. Journey to Jasmine, good morning. You gonna go be sleeping the next 10 minutes? You gonna be awake? You okay? Joan, what's going on? All right, so let's get back to it because we have questions. The other questions that I have about the quiet quitting and so forth and so on, doing the bare minimum. I think some of this is quiet quitting. I think some of it may be a misnomer because they may be overemployed. They may be working 2 or 3 jobs and doing the bare minimum. Like, okay, cut the check, and I'm gonna keep it pushing. So, like it could be that. Sava Hill, how you doing? Thank you for joining us from Facebook. We appreciate you. All right. So I just want to point that out, certain things. But again, we're going to talk about a lot of things today. We're going to ruffle some feathers. Some of you all may not stay with us. It's okay. We still love you. All right. So let me make sure I get my power here. See, the battery is draining because my thing is going. But quiet quitting. Here's quiet quitting. Here. Let's go down here. Quiet quitting and its impact. Let's see. Quiet quitting right here. Is quiet quitting real? All right, so let's pull this up. It says story highlights at least of half of the U.S. workforce is quiet quitting the workplace amid the pandemic got worse for younger workers. Managers are essential to combating quiet quitting. Quitters make up 50% of the U.S. workforce. The trend towards quiet quitting, the idea spreading virally on social media that millions of people are not going above and beyond at work and just meeting their job description could get worse. The problem is because most jobs today require some level of extra effort to collaborate with coworkers and meet customer needs. The U.S. employee engagement took another step backwards during the second quarter of 2022, with the appropriation of engaged remaining at 32%, but the appropriation, the proportion of the engaged workers remaining at 30%, but the proportion of the actively disengaged increasing to 18%. The ratio of the engaged to actively disengaged employees is now 1.8 to 1, the lowest in almost a decade. The drop in engagement began in the second half of 2021 and was concurrent, and then the rise in job resignations. Managers, among others, experienced the greatest drop. Now, what I see here is, hey, I don't want to be in your office. Two, I don't want to sit there and talk to folks. What's going on, Tracy Jackson? How you doing? I'm doing good. I don't want to be in your office. I don't like your people. I just looked at a report this morning. There's a rise of polio in New York. There's a state of emergency in New York for polio. We have C-19 out there. We got monkeypox out there, and then we got on the flip side of that, we got random people just shooting up the place. Like, like people are like, well, look, let me just sit in the house. I'll avoid that. Um, if you need me, you know, Zoom me, Slack me, weld me, whatever the case may be, I'll be there. Look on my calendar, set some time up, and let's do this thing. I don't know. And the other part of it is, here's this is what gets funny. A lot of people think that you being in the office, you're gonna automatically just collaborate with people, and that's not true. That's not true. Um, you can sit in the office. You can sit in the office and never collaborate with people, and not because you don't want to. It's just because you're busy. It's because you're doing some work, right? People think you're gonna get up and walk around and engage and talk to people, and not. That's not really true, right? Why are they forcing people to go back to the office? It makes no damn sense. Tracy Jackson says this sounds scary. Sounds like we will have a group of people that don't want to work. Period. Companies are going to need to change their working model. What's next? Let me isolate for a little while, right? So, but the other part of this is, it's knowing how to collaborate, knowing how to communicate, and I think, just my own personal opinion, I think people don't understand the power of communication, right? They don't understand the power of communication, how to craft, and I talk about this in my meetups often, like how to craft an email, how to craft and put in what your actual thoughts and what is the actual problem, what are the steps to the solutions, or possible solutions, and leave that up to everybody to collaborate on to come up with X, Y, and Z. Um, and we have and I think the U.S. has a huge problem with that. But not only that, let's really get down to what it really is, right? Let's get down to what it really is. What it really is, and this goes back into what I talk about all the time, is I spent this money on purchasing this building that I said that we're going to need at least 400 or 500 people, that are going to be in this building. I am paying for this cubicle for you to be in this building. I'm also paying for you to be here. I'm also buying these snacks. I have this refrigerator. I have this water. I have this vending machine. I have these trucks showing up for food. I have this cafeteria. I have this place where you can take a shower. I got all these things. Let's really talk about what it really is. It is I have paid for these things and you will use them. If not, you're gonna get fired. Oh, and by the way, you're gonna collab while you're here, because we're gonna make meetings where you're gonna have to sit down and we're all gonna be in a room for you to talk about these things. So we can just look at each other and talk about these things, because now we're building camaraderie, and it shows how you think and it shows how I think, and now we're just one big happy family. When it's not my fault you bought the building. It's not my fault, right? It's not my fault that some private equity investor sold you this building, or somebody sold you this commercial building, this commercial real estate. I mean, when we talk about it, that's really what it gets down to, right? right? So, and the other thing is understanding what people have going on in their own lives, right? Outside of work, right? Some people are taking care of sick parents, some people are taking care of sick kids, some people are just having children, some kids are not being born healthy. Some kids, some parents are having children, and then the mother may be sick, and the father needs to come in to help take care of that child. It could be, it could be a number of things. It could be you went to work and you had a car wreck afterwards. It could be that um your rent may have doubled from where you were staying at. Your rent went up. You had a rent increase. So people have things going on in their lives, and I think oftentimes people get caught up at work with, like, it is about work. You are here. Your 8 hours or 10 or 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, even after hours is about that. Even now, like, I don't know if y'all saw that the girl Patricia, was it Patricia or Patrice or whatever? She went with Deloitte and she filmed everything, and about her doing this job and all that, and Deloitte fired her. Did y'all see that? Right? You got to know the rules. Let me see. Fired. I think her name was Patricia. Social media. Let me look that up. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, right here. Yeah, images of the Lord fired Patricia social media. Right. Let me look and see if I can find the video. Uh, yes, Harvard grad. Here it is. Harvard grad. Clara, is this it? 7-1. That don't look like it. um Joan over lost the Lord job over TikTok staff, but that's not her. This is another chick. See, that was July the 2nd. This is another chick. This is a recent chick. She got fired over TikTok, not TikTok, but fired over recording. Let me go on here to YouTube. Um, and I think her name was Patricia. I could be wrong. Like, that's what I remember seeing. That was 2 years ago. Let me just put in Deloitte fired and take Patricia out. That's 2 years ago. It was one that just happened this week. It was one that I can't find it right now. It'll come up. But she was fired this week. It was just like in the past 2 weeks. She was fired. She went in. She started recording her, I guess, her journey and so forth and so on. This, that, and other. And then they was like, yeah, bye, adios. So again, understanding, um, reading the guidelines. This is another thing I talk about at the meetup. Read what you can and can't do, and who you can and cannot associate with. Like I tell you all the time, people who got security clearances and stuff like that, conversing with known felons and people of foreign countries and so forth and so on, those things become very um, problemsome, right? Foreign investments and so forth. A lot of these jobs are now requiring people to be U.S. citizens, because they're doing work with the government, or the government, or the contract that they have with the government requires people to be U.S. citizens, even though you don't have a clearance, because you're working with the government or some agency within the government or something like that. Then there is sensitivity of data. There is just the numerous things that go on. So first and foremost, keep your record clean. When I say keep your record clean, meaning keep your credit clean, keep up to date with all your payments, pay them on time. If you don't pay them on time, put them on auto pay if you ain't really good at that, if you're really not good at it, right? um under, understand understanding credit, right, understanding how credit works, understanding how buying assets works. Who do you buy the assets from? Understand that. Understanding all these things is really gonna, I don't want to say isolate you. This is what I want. It may isolate you, let me say that, but it's gonna isolate you for the good, because it's gonna be an isolation where you're gonna be like, I'm not fooling with nobody over there that looking like they got bad credit. And then when I say that, I'm talking about when you start dating, you're gonna be there's no future here, right? You're $200,000 in debt. I'm dating with a purpose to get married or create a partnership, however y'all, whatever your words and terms are these days, right? And you sitting over there with $200,000 in debt. I've been seeing this stuff on social media. I've been watching. I saw the joint that Anton Daniels did with "Don't date a woman if she got student. Don't marry a woman if she got student loans." I say don't marry nobody if you got student loans. How about that? How about that? That's what. How about that? I'm, I'm gonna get slack for this. I think every man and every woman need to create their own estate or their own trust before you get married. If y'all are out here getting these jobs, two, three, 400, 500,000, 2 million, whatever, you ain't got to take advice from me. I'm just telling you to protect your assets, and the only way you're gonna protect your assets before marriage is either you get a prenup or a estate or put it in a trust, whatever the case may be. And all this came from quiet quitting, right? Working in the office in camaraderie, right? The other one is that everybody always keeps on harping on, and whatever the case may be is, hey, just because a man or a woman has a house before y'all get married, that don't mean you need to sell your house. When y'all do get married, throw that thing in an estate and put it up for a short-term rental or a long-term rental and let it make money for you, right? Like, again, building wealth. We got all these different asset classes out here, and you all want to sell off of the asset classes. One of the reasons why I was covering private equity firms is because, one, I'm studying it, and two, I really wanted to know, like, who, what was going on in the private equity space and so forth, and how things are looking and so forth, and what's the rule of thumb with people buying up private equity firms buying up real estate. We've seen that. We see it time and time again, and so forth, right? So I went on a deep dive of that as well too, and we're gonna get into some of that. We're gonna get into a lot of things. Like I said, I'm probably gonna ruffle some feathers. I'm probably gonna piss some people off, but it is what it is. I'm gonna scroll up here and try to read some of these comments. Let me see. Yeah, isolate for a while. Busy doing work. Yep. IG for life and jump. You said people are simply tired of giving their all and making the job their life. We want to do the assigned task and go home. Um, we're done. Send the email at 4:57. Yeah. So again, with that too, right? Is you are at work and you're collaborating and so forth, but here's the other thing: the world is the rich are continue to get richer. I don't care how many hours you work, if you're not taking that money and putting it somewhere to make it work for you, what's the purpose? What's your purpose, right? What's your end goal? Like I said, I have conversation with a lot of my male friends often, and we go back and forth. When I say they're male friends, they're truly male friends, right? I'm not talking about, oh yeah, we could. No. We decided like, hey, yo, you over here, we cool. You friend zone, we cool with that. Tap it up. All right. So listen, what I've also had conversations with them about is um dating. What's your purpose? What are you working for? What is that end goal, right? How much longer can you drive a truck? How much longer can you go up and down a ladder? How much longer can you continue to be a firefighter? How much longer can you continue to do these things? Same thing with women. I have these conversations with my female friends. Like, how long are you going to continue to do this? What does that look like? How are you going to do these things? And the reason why I have those conversations is because you either got to come up with a 5 year plan, a 10 year plan, and a retirement plan, depending on your age, right? Because right now, the word on the curb is you're not going to have enough money for retirement. The other word on the curb is we too broke to argue, and the other one is that you all are not even putting enough money away to even consider retiring, right? You're not even putting enough money away to even consider retiring. So when I hear about quiet quitting, when I hear about overemployed, when I hear about going into the work office, when I hear all these little different things, I have to push back and say, what is your plan? Right? You can hear this stuff, but what is your plan? How does going back into the office work for you? How does that commute work for you? Is it a hybrid type of situation? Because I get people that hit me up all the time and say, "Hey, um, we need someone here in Arlington, Virginia, that can do a hybrid role where you can work 3 days in the office and then 2 days at home, and that's great. But here's where the problem lies. Now is the commute, right? And then the sole focus on just that job, where somebody may want to. And I was, like I said, I was talking to the Uber driver last 2 weeks ago in Austin, and he was saying that, to drive his Uber that he has, and he's buying he's renting, he's leasing the car, I guess, or buying the car. Maybe leasing the car. But anyway, he has to pay $600 a week for this Uber car that he has. I think it was a Plaid, a Tesla Plaid. But then again, he's paying $600 a week. And so now you have to think about, well, how much money does he need to really make in order to pay for it, pay his bills, and invest, right? Pay for it, pay his bills, and invest, right? And I didn't say anything about living, traveling, or whatnot, right? I'm just talking about the basics. So again, if you go that route, what's your purpose? What's your end goal? What is your end game? Right? You can come here every week and listen to what I'm telling you, but I need for you all, and I talked about this before. We gotta have that meeting, probably have to have a private meeting. I needed everyone to create they 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, $50 million plan. What's your plan? And listen, let me tell you something. When you're dating, I had this happen to me several times. I've had this happen to me several times. When I get to talking and I'm like, yeah, one of my goals is I got a plan to have just in retirement. I was like, I want 10 million, but I want to see if I can get that done in the next 5 to 10 years. And the first thing that come out of people's mouths is like, you don't need all of that for retirement. What you mean I don't need all of that for retirement? How you know? Because you just trying to you living out your means. What you mean I'm living out of my means? What you mean I'm living out of my means? How do you know I'm living out of my means? Oh, you bought those cars because you wanted to be floss and you want to be fancy and flash in front of them. You trying to appease people. What are you talking about? Right? People will tell you that. People tell you stuff like that. They'll tell you what you don't need for your retirement. Like, how you know? How you know I don't need that for my retirement? Oh, you just trying to stress yourself. Listen, you just trying to stress yourself. Like, what are you talking about? And nobody's trying to stress that. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. Like they really say on that 4% rule on the drawdown, they really say that 4%, in your first few years, like if you retire at 65, is really not enough. Again, They're saying that maybe you need to be maybe at between 5 to 7% on a drawdown until your Social Security kicks in. Yep, you're right, Tracy. That's people with the bare minimum mindset. I get it all the time. I hear it all the time. I be like, man, why can't I have a goal of 50 million? Why can't I have a goal of 30 million? Why? What's the problem? Why you mad at that? And this is what I hear when people say that is what I hear is, why do you have a goal of 50 million? What it is why do you have that goal at 50 million? Because I ain't did it, and there's no way in the world you're gonna do it. And then what I also hear is why would you even want to set yourself up for failure as if you could do it? And when I hear that, I immediately just I immediately shut down. Like, oh yeah, this is not the conversation that's gonna go well. It's not gonna go well. I know it's not gonna go well because we don't even have the same thought process. Another thing that came up in a conversation I was having was this is Tameika rambling. This Tameika rambling mindset, right? So this for men and women both. These are things that at a minimum I think you should have at a minimum, right? I think you all need to all go get your passports, whether it's the global trash passport, um, uh, whatever the case may be, go get a passport. Another one that you need to be getting is a home, a duplex, or apartment building. I don't care. Pick one. Get in the game. Buy some land. These are the basics that Tamika think you need, and you people gonna flame me for it, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with being flamed, and this is just my own personal thoughts. The other one is if you're dating, right? And I had to think about this because this is gonna sound really, I don't want to say bougie or elitist. It may be elitist. It may sound elitist. So I had to go back and look at myself, and then I look at young people today, and then I break it down and I look at men and women, and then I look at what is the goal, right? And I know I'm gonna get flack for this, but I've said this before. Um, Most of the time when you're dating, right, and you're looking to meet someone and then go off and you all build this thing, this y'all do this marriage thing, right? And I said this to my friend, and I had to think about it, what I was saying, but I know why I was saying it. There's a difference in renting a apartment and owning a home. And this is gonna sound real bad, but I'm gonna say it. So my personal thoughts is, damn, it's gonna sound bad. My personal thoughts is, if you, man or woman, I don't care how you look at it, um, man, woman, whatever the case, whoever you're dating, whatever your preference is, if you're gonna date somebody, at least date someone who has actually owned a home, right? Because here's the expectation is you're expecting someone to come into a situation, and I'm not saying they can't learn. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you're expecting to marry and get with someone, and this is what I see from men. This is what I see from men. You're expecting someone to come in, this woman to come in and actually understand what it means to build a home, right? And vice versa for the woman. But here's the other thing that a person who rents an apartment ain't never had to do. They ain't never had to look for nobody to cut no grass. They ain't never had to look for nobody to come in and fix up to fix the dishwasher or whatnot. They ain't never had to worry about no roof. They ain't never had to worry about whether what the if the AC went out. If the AC went out, they just call somebody and they come fix it, right? They ain't never had to worry about whether or not they was gonna whether or not there was gonna HVAC. They ain't never had to worry about none of those things. And again, like I say, it's gonna sound elitist, and I know I'm gonna get pushed back, and people not gonna like it. But there's a reason for that, and the reason for that is there's so much more that goes into owning your home. And even once you start owning your home and then you start going to buy duplexes and so forth, there's some other things that go along with that. So yeah, shoveling snow, HOA fees and the whole nine, all that goes into it. And maybe the person can have lived in in a house and actually had those responsibilities, right? But I'm just giving you what I'm normally seeing is there is a specific learning curve, and I'm not saying that the person can't learn, but and if you are going to get someone that hasn't had that background and doesn't understand that, give them grace to learn, right? You can't expect a man or a woman to walk into a relationship and y'all go buy a house and then they just know what it is just like that. It's a learning curve. It's you would expect that your mom and the parents and the family would have taught that person, but that ain't always the case. Some people, mom and dad have never owned a home, and you're the first person in the family to own a house, right? And now you go out here and you're looking for this man and you're looking for this woman and you're looking for these expectation of something to come in and help with this situation. And I'm simply saying, dial it back and understand and write down every single damn thing you need to do. Write it down. Write a spreadsheet on what you get up and do every day. You gotta, and this is where that one skill away from 200K allows you to do, right? So you gotta grocery shop, you gotta clean your clothes. And people say you do this already. Yeah, you do this already, but now you do this already and you working and you traveling and you dating and you do it's a lot of hands that go into that. It's a lot of hands that go into that. But the things that y'all have to do every day, right? You gotta cook, you gotta clean, you gotta grocery shop, you gotta buy clothes to go to work. You gotta have whatever shoe shopping you gotta do. You gotta go get your I don't want to call it accessories, but your personal items. Keep your body fresh. Your towels, your sheets, uh, furnishing by furnishing the house, the home. What's the theme you want to go with? Whatever. There's a lot that go into all of that, and all that takes time. Right now, you let's add in. You want to throw some kids in on top of all of that. You want to throw some kids on top of all of that, right? Like I can go on with the ants. All I'm simply saying is this: when you start looking at what it is that you have to do to get where you want to be, you need to have a plan in place. What is your goal, and how do you plan on getting there? And then remember, now you all are trying to date too, right? You all are trying to date too. So how does that man, that woman, those people, right, fit into what you're trying to do, right? So again, you all, I'm just telling you this not just based on my experiences, but when I'm talking to people, this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing this from men and women. All right. So how are you all going to have this end goal, and how do these people fit into your goal, right? Do you leave room for someone to come into your life? Do you leave room for people to make mistakes around you? Do you leave room? And remember, mistakes can be costly, but you can minimize that if you have a conversation. And now I'm not telling you you're gonna find out what everybody is doing up front. I'm not telling you that everybody's gonna be people representatives are not are just going to be continued. So some people stay in representative mode for 6 years or so, right? I'm just saying, some people are very good actors and actresses, right? I'm just saying, right? Yeah, engineering, gutter cleaning, AC plumbing, security systems, cleaning the pool, the list goes on, right? And it said Donald Watt said, even if you rented a home and done all of that, these things, there are differences in the care you put into the things you own. That is absolutely true. Adrian Nash says she has. I don't have the bandwidth for the ands. D. Lenny Sling says it depends. I agree. There's a different type of pride and responsibility with ownership, but that's a different conversation. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation. Brooklyn 29 said, I can't do everything on my own. So now I either delegate or pay someone. And in order to delegate and pay someone, you need to have some money to delegate and pay someone. And not only that, you still got to vet them because they may do a half-ass job when they come do something. So you still got to vet that. But all I'm simply saying is this: you're out here and you have these goals, these this 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, whatever the case may be, and then on top of all of that, you still got to go to work. You still got to work, man or woman. I don't care if you're a woman at home and you're a housewife. There's still things you got to do every day. There's still things you just want to do for self. I don't care what nobody say. Everybody like keep acting like as soon as the woman get married, she gonna do everything that man gonna tell her to do, or that man gonna do everything that woman. That I don't know where that come from. I don't know why they think that. Because I don't know. I mean, when I was born and I was 5 years old, I had my own damn thoughts. Would you think my thoughts stopped then? But that's another story. I'm not gonna get into that. Life experience should prepare us for all of this and more. Shoot, move, communicate. You would think life experiences would prepare you for that. You would think your life experiences would prepare you for that. You have to you have to ask yourself what those people life experiences are, because everybody life experiences aren't the same. And this is why you have to have these conversations, because just because I'm 25 and you 25 don't mean we have the same life experiences, right? I look at the guy on I forget his name. Anyway, you probably seen him. He walks around Atlanta. That's so Atlanta, Atlanta. Well, anyway, Atlanta. Um, and he walks around Woodruff Park in the downtown area, interviewing all the homeless people down there, men, women, children, whatever, whatever. And he came across this one young lady. She was 25 years old and homeless, and just had a baby 6 days ago. And her boyfriend is homeless, and she out there walking around, and I was like, what? Like, she was like, yeah, I was pregnant and homeless. And what I'm saying is this: whatever her life experiences was up until 25 was totally different than what my life experiences were up until 25. Because I could tell you I wasn't homeless at 25. I was married and on my way, right? But again, everybody, like, you would expect people life experiences to have shown people these things, and sometimes they haven't. I'm gonna give you another story. One of my coworkers at one of my jobs used to walk around the office. It was a guy. He used to walk around the office, and he would just walk down the hallway, and he would just be walking and farting. That's what he would do. He would come in your office, and he would stand there and talk to you, and he would stand there and he'd just be farting. That's just what he did. And so, he would get cussed out by a lot of people all the time. And then I had to have a conversation one day, not with him, but with someone who I knew him real well. And she was like, she's like, I actually am excited for him. She's like, I don't mind him farting. I'm okay with it. And I'm like, what is this lady? This lady's crazy. So she okay with him farting? And she gave me the background, and she was like, yeah, she's like, he was homeless all his life, and he had been in and out of shelters and so forth. And He was like, she was like, he never had a mother or a father to care for him. He grew up in basically not in foster care, just in a shelter. And she said, he lucked up and met someone who told him about college, and he went and got his GED and went to college, and he's a computer engineer now. Let me say this: this very same man has gone on to get married and have two or three kids. So from his background, he didn't have any home training. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what's right or wrong. And I picked up on that when I was talking to him because he didn't understand certain things, but he was very mild mannered. He would be like, "Oh, oh, I farted. Oh, I fart. Oh, oh, oh." He would do that kind of shit. I'm just telling you my experiences, right? But again, somebody found love in him. Somebody, somebody said, "I don't mind him farting." I don't mind whatever, whatever, and have given this man two kids. I'm just saying, people come from all experiences and backgrounds. What I'm simply saying is this: if you're gonna go out here and you're looking for someone to jump into whatever mix that you got going on, I don't care how long y'all date. This is another thing too. This dating 5 or 6 years. I don't care how long y'all date. It's never the same when you all are sign that, just my personal thing, sign that piece of paper, and y'all are responsible for each other. Everybody keeps saying that the man is responsible for the woman. Y'all are responsible for each other. If something happens to him, she need to know what's going on with him, what he allergic to, whatever the case may be, his blood pressure, whatever it is, what background, what go on in his family, is a history record, blood work, all that. She was just y'all are responsible for each other. Y'all are responsible for you. Y'all are a unit. y'all are a unit, right? So y'all need to sit down and have conversations with people. And I'm not telling you to go out there and date 10 years because shit, in 10 years, hell, who I was when you met me ain't who I am now. Shit, I may not like you no more. I may not like me no more. How about that? Shit. I'm just telling you, right? Sylvia, you say, yes, very true. Our community values, traditions, culture, basic human need, lots more, so much we have lost. We've lost a lot of things, but we've lost a lot of things, but we didn't got to be stuck there. That's my thing. We keep saying we don't have this, we don't have that, but we ain't got to be stuck there, right? I feel like I feel like we're stuck sometimes. I feel like I'm stuck sometimes. I had these conversations with D all the time. I'm like I feel like I'm stagnant. Like I ain't moving. Like I ain't doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I ain't where I'm supposed to be. I feel like that all the time, and there may be my own shortcomings when it comes to that, but I feel like that sometimes, right? Um, yeah, poops are a part of intimacy. D, you funny. Oh, you tell you they go back to that video that you sent me where he was like he gave her the egg and he was like, I must smell you pooped. You have not farted. I must smell your fart. And I got some friends that tell me all the time. They was like, they man, and this is getting way off course. I got some friends that tell me they was like, they man have never ever seen them go to the bathroom and do number two. And I'm like, y'all been together how long? He never seen you do that. Like, I never do that in front of my man. He would never. Like, I be like, what that kind of world? What kind of world is that? Your stomach, good God, what you do, what you eat, what you don't eat. When he ain't never seen you go to the bathroom ever to do number two. You get around him and you only do number one. Girl, some of y'all funny out here. Some of y'all women, y'all funny. I'm like, never? He never seen you do. Have you ever seen him do it? I bet you he go in front of you. I bet you he open up the door and wants you to come in there and talk to him. Let me get back to what we supposed to be talking about. These quiet quitting and coddle folks. get back. Let me get back. Let me get back. Y'all ain't gonna y'all ain't gonna have me up here today venting. Y'all ain't gonna have me up here today venting. I ain't gonna do it with y'all today. All I'm simply saying is this: you all have a plan. You have a 10 million, or 20 million, or 30 million, or 40 million, or $50 million plan. Make that a priority for you. All right. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the rule of thumb is what I'm seeing now. And I went as far as back as 2018. And it's in particular for Black people, right? Um, your net worth is going to be zero come 2053. You're not putting in enough money in order to save up for retirement, which also lets me know you probably don't have enough money. You're not making enough money in order to put away for retirement, right? And when I say that, look, you could play these stocks, these 401ks. I'm just telling you to be diverse with what you do. Or if you're not, really know the asset class really, really well, right? And if when I say asset classes, we talked about this before, from watches to land to, when I say land, raw land, to buying real estate, whether it's commercial, industrial, retail, whether it's building, short term, long term, hotels, wherever is whatever your asset class that you decide to go into, as a unit, as a group of people, as a single person, whatever the case may be, just make sure you know it real well. And also, if you're trying to bring people into your life, give them the grace to learn, right? But I'm not saying start from zero. I ain't saying that. I'm not saying that. Tracy Jackson, I would love to get into the tech industry. When I hear I say I would love, that means you haven't researched or you don't know where to start. To get into church to make good money, but I don't know where I should go. I have a banking background, fintech, easy, boom, done. Look it up. Fintech security, fintech for compliance. If you have a banking industry background, understanding how to court customers and so forth, I would look at JP Chase Morgan. I would look at all of those, because those companies, any of the banking companies have tech in them. So I would look at any of those companies: Capital One, SoFi, DeFi, Coinbase. And I brought up Coinbase is paying uh, DevSecOps and stuff like that for 500,000. So I'm just saying, make don't. And it's another thing I put on AO's thing, right? I need for y'all to stop researching so much. I need for you to research and try, research and try until you figure out what it is that you want to do. And a lot of the stuff that I show you at Women and Links on our meetups, I show you how to do this stuff for free. Research and try. And we're gonna talk more about that coming the next show. Tam, we all can't start at two. Help us. No, you can. You woke up, that's starting at zero. You came to the live, that's one. Now, two is what you're gonna do next, right? Research and try. You can't keep researching forever. You can't keep researching forever. We gotta. Like I told the person who was saying they was researching, I say, first off, you need to get in the game. Get in the game. Y'all not even in the game. I'm telling you, you're not in the game. I'm telling you, when I read these resumes, y'all ain't in the game, because I don't see them. I don't see your names. Now you're gonna be mad at me when I say this, but it's okay. I don't see Don Quavius coming across my on the resume. I don't see, I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't see those names. I don't see Don Quavius, Quintavious, Carlicia, Carlita Way, whatever. I don't see them. I don't see them names. Be mad all you want to, but I don't see them. I don't. So when I don't see them, it's a problem. Is it a filter? Could be. Tracy, well, I got to be wrong for that. I'm just being honest. Just being honest. All right. So let's go to the next article. It's gonna make you even more mad. Women who stay single don't have kids are getting richer. You're gonna be mad at me. But I'm not Bloomberg. Bloomberg reported this. I'm just giving you. I saw this a couple of weeks ago and I didn't bring it up, but here we go. Let me see. So this is what I read it is Tameika, stay single and don't have kids are getting richer. That's what I read that as. Tamika, stay single and don't have kids are getting rich. That's what I read. I don't know what y'all see. What y'all see? Did y'all see my name up there? That's what I saw. Okay. All right, that's what I saw. All right, it says foregoing marriage and parenthood has a bigger payoff for American women than men, according to the new research. And you also saw that research that came out that had the streets ablaze. They had the streets ablaze. It says men who was men are dying single and lonely. That's what it said. I didn't make the article up. I'm just reporting the news because it's the news reporting day. Okay, August the 31st. I told you I had this a while back. Ashley Murillo isn't married. I think that's how you say her name. Isn't married and doesn't have kids, and she has a new message for women just like her. You can still have it all. The 43-year-old feels a deep sense of satisfaction for her job as a sales representative for a maker of medical devices, which brings her into contact with patients. And she relishes on the lifestyle and financial freedoms that come with being single, child-free woman in a well-paying job. This that includes an apartment in New York City, a new beach house on Jersey Shore, and frequent travel for pleasure as well as work. Now, I want to start right there because I know this is going to be a lot of backlash because people are going to be like, "Well, she ain't having no kids. Who going to take care of her when she get older?" Her HSA, which is what I talk about, men and women. Let's get into it. Your HSA again. When you turn 65, pump as much money as you can into your HSA now because your HSA would now would now take care of you in your afterlife. Why? Your HSA right now, up until you're 65, and you don't have to get an HSA through your company. You can get an HSA outside of the company, right? Your HSA will, as you pump money into it, I think once it gets up to $5,000. That may be it. I'm not sure. Anyway, once it gets up to $5,000, you then starts playing whatever stock market you want to play, whether it's aggressive, whether it's medium, whether it's conservative, however you want to do it, right? And then the other part of that is when you have to pay medical expenses on that up until 65. But here's the other thing: when you turn 65, you can do whatever you want to do with it. You don't have the restrictions are then lifted at 65. But here's the other thing that is also that it doesn't have RMDs, required minimum distribution. So on your 401ks and so forth, there are RMDs on that, meaning you got to take out money, meaning you got to get this money up out of here, and you're gonna get taxed on it by 40% getting it up out of there. And I've covered shows on that about how you all can help yourselves out with these RMDs. I'll have to come back. We'll have to probably do some chapters on some shows so y'all can go back to that. But however, what I'm saying is this: those are that RMD is not on that HSA. So that's just another way that y'all can flex some of your cash over there. Go and throw some cash. I think right now for single it's 3,700. I think married is 6,300. Married, right? So there's another benefit to being married, right? There's another benefit there to being married. Two of y'all together can kind of pump that money in there. And that was also funny because I was talking to someone about being married, and she was saying that she was an accountant. Anyway, she was saying she was looking at it's a husband and wife that work at a tech company, and the husband he puts in the max that he can on his stuff, but they have a raw 401k, and the wife puts in 90% of her income. He's just tossing it in there, right? So again, there's some benefits there. This is the U.S. and it does benefit marriage, right? That's one of the big things, right? 100% of your money will go to you. I always putting money out for something. what you're telling me, Tim, my single aunt balling in Jamaica and riding that foreign is a reality. Yes, it is. Can't take that money with you. Nothing like loving kids and a warm bed with your man. It ain't nothing like it. It ain't nothing like it. A true husband and kids will be nice, but if it doesn't happen, I can't stress over it, right? You can invest long term. Say you say the company that I work for, that I work with adds to my HSA if I hit a certain wellness level and get wellness points. Anyone else? Yep, that is a perk. And then that's also, it's also another perk as well too. I think they do like the health test. This, you get discounts on your insurance as well too. So another one that is a contribution. So that's a contribution match on my HSA as well too. So whatever I put in, the company matches that inside my HSA, right? So you got your HSA, you got your Roth 401k, you got your real estate that you can use, that you should be investing in. You have watches, you got boats, whatever, rentals, car rentals, the whole nine, right? You guys gotta figure it out. But I wanted to say this because a lot of times this comes up and people don't look at this as an option, right? Even though she may be 43 and single, at one day she may want to have a kid. And when I say have a kid, not physically have one, but she could adopt, right? There are a lot of kids that just don't get adopted every year and they go through the system, right? Of course, it's a higher expense to get one that is a newborn and so forth. But getting, I'm just talking about um, other things that could happen for those who want kids. And remember, some men and women who get together and are married can't have kids, so they have to go through adoption. I got a friend of mine; they went and adopted 3 kids, and they have traveled the world. They live in Bangladesh. They lived in Saudi Arabia. They lived all over. Those kids have gone from Texas to international travels to young, beyond, and it's cool to see, right? But everybody doesn't, everybody's not able to do the traditional thing the way they think traditional. Is that considered a modern marriage? I don't know. I don't even know what modern means anymore. Like, I don't even know what that means. Up to date, I don't know, right? But again, there are options out there for people to do and live their lives how they feel they need to live their lives, right? Another one is continuing on down. I love my life and feel very fulfilled, says Maria, who froze her eggs in 2018 to keep her options open. I love children and I love all my friends' children, but I don't know if I would love my life with children. In 2019, it says single men with children was making 59K. And it says single women were, I guess it's, I don't know what this seven is supposed to mean. I don't know if that's 7K. I'm assuming that is. And without children, the men were at 57, but the single women were at 65, and that's at 2019. Now, I don't know if that slowed down or not, but I don't think so because this was just reported. Maria belongs to a growing cohort of women who are putting off motherhood or forgetting it entirely. As a result, many are advancing further in their careers than prior generations in entering a new frontier of wealth. Single women without kids had an average of 65,000 or 65K in wealth in 2019 compared to 57 for single child-free men, according to Pew Research, or new research, not Pew, from the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. For single mothers, that figure was only 7,000. 7,000 for single mothers. 7,000 for single mothers. What y'all doing, single mothers? What y'all doing for single mothers? What you doing? I'm gonna show you what single mothers doing in a minute. Parenthood was losing its appeal even before C-19, and hardship brought on the pandemic appears to have accelerated the trend. A new Pew Research study last year found that 44% of Americans aged 18 to 49 who don't have kids say it's not likely or not at all likely they will procreate someday, an increase of 7 percentage points from 2018. Of course, we know the birth rates in America has been going down. U.S. birth rates have been falling for the past 30 years as people getting married later in life and putting off having children. In 1990, there were about 71 births per year for every 1,000 women between the ages of 15 to 44. By 2019, they had dropped closer to 58 births according to the Census Bureau. At the same time, the share of women between the age of 25 to 34 who don't have kids reached a record in 2018. The most recent available in data going back to 1976. Now I want to also say this too. One of the big things that I've also have seen is um, being out in this market, right? Is what your again goes back to what is your goal? What are you going to do? What is that? What does that look like? What is that? What are y'all planning on doing with you single? You got this wealth, or you building wealth, or you sharing your wealth with others? And as you grow older, I saw you can't take this money with you, but you can't take the money with you, but don't mean you gotta spend it all, and don't mean you can't set up the next generation, right? What are you doing to set up the next generation? What are you doing to set up the next kids and so forth? And it don't have to be kids in your family. It could be your friends' kids. It could be your goddaughter. It could be your godson. It could be anybody. What you gonna do? What's crack a lacking? What you doing? Right? So don't always think that, well, I ain't got nobody to lead this money to, so I might as well spend it all, right? Again, people like, oh, what's your legacy? What's gonna be this? I don't know. Create a foundation. Create a foundation. Create a scholarship fund. Throw that money in and give out 1,000. You may have 5 million in there and give out $1,000 every year for the next whatever many years. Simple as that. Build something around it, leave something for somebody else. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about how you can leave and leave an imprint, a good imprint. All right, many experts in the rising cost of raising families as an important factor in Americans' decisions to have fewer or no offspring. The expenses in bringing up a child born in 2015 through the age of 17 will run an estimated $310,000, according to Brookings Institution, which adapted a government calculation to adjust for inflation trends, adding about 26,000. The projection doesn't include the cost of college education, which we know continues to go up. You say, smile, invest, take care of my family, sharing my blessing. Yep. There are other costs to consider. Several studies have demonstrated that working women are subject to motherhood penalty, either during pregnancy or after they give birth. In research prior to the pandemic, Julie Cashman, a director of women's economic justice at the Century Foundation, a think tank, pegged the size of the penalty is 15% of the annual income for each child under the age of 5, with Black and Latina mothers shouldering a higher burden than their white peers. There's the consequence for your earnings of having kids, says Cashin. The whole purpose of the women's movement is to maximize choices for women so that their every choice is a viable one. Income should not be the thing that dictates that, which it is totally right now. So basically, you have kid, you get a penalty at work. We did y'all see the woman that got fired because the news anchor that got fired because she had gray hair? Y'all see that? Pull that up. So age is a problem. Ageism. Let's see. Let's pull this up right here. Let me see. Oh, this her. She was Canadian. Let me see. I didn't look at this one.
Oh, thank you. Meanwhile, Twitter was rallying behind Lisa Lefebvre, a Canadian news anchor, who was fired allegedly because she let her hair go gray.
What?
Say what? Oh, she posted this 2-minute video to Twitter saying she was blindsided by the decision to end her contract. She said, I still thought I'd have a lot more time to tell more of the stories that impact our daily lives. She has been an anchor at CTV News for 35 years.
That's a career.
And she actually recently won Best News Anchor at the Canadian Screen Awards. People now saying this appears to be an act of sexism and ageism. You don't say. Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if there's been any comment from the network that she worked for. There are a lot of restaurants and businesses rallying around her. We were talking about.
I'm gonna be messing. How many people think this her hair? This a wig or a weave? I'm just being messing. I just being messy. I just asking questions because
Wendy's turned Wendy gray in support of this anchor.
They said a star is a star no matter your hair.
What y'all call me? Dirty helmet now, or whatever that case might be. I'm just all right. Back to the show. Melissa Curdy, a professor of economics at the University of Maryland, contends that the cultural changes are also causing women to delay a skilled motherhood. Americans who were young adults in the 90s and early 2000s grew up with a different set of norms around parenting and women having careers. It seems like people priorities have shifted, says Kearney, who also the director of Aspen Economic Strategy Group and a mother of 3. It's not necessarily that people have less of a preference for kids or that it's much more expensive or time consuming to have kids. It's the way the two things are interacting for this generation versus the prior ones, right? Somebody said extensions, clip-ins, petty T strikes. Yes. Amira, who's married for 4 years before getting a divorce in 2008. Let's start right there because everybody thinks once you get a divorce, you taking half of that man's money or you getting alimony or whatnot or whatever. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you be like, here, keep it all. Speaking of, I'm finna be messy. I saw that Neo got another baby on that outside of his marriage. He's got 2 outside babies outside of that marriage, and he wants his wife to get out of the house and whatnot. And he said she's fully capable of working and taking care of herself, right? And so I was having a discussion with some of my friends of mine, and you, my sister, last night, and I'm just gonna flat out say it. People ain't gonna like it, whatever. I think she should walk away with nothing. I think she should get on out of there and leave the kids with him. Leave all the kids with him. Let him figure it out. My personal thoughts, right? Because really what it is he would probably want to pay child support, but he don't want to pay for her, right? And he feel like the child support is paying for her, right? And so it's gonna be this ongoing argument and this, that, and the other, right? And so my thought process, like, man, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm gonna go back out here and get remarried again. And I know some women have done it. I know some women have done it. Here's all the kids. You figure it out, and we'll go on from there, right? And you're gonna start seeing that trend. Watch, you're gonna start seeing that trend. You're gonna start seeing women being like, man, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna do all of this with you. You keep them kids. You keep all them kids. All I need from you is a place to stay. And I'm sure they have property that he can go ahead and give that girl a property. The girl got connections now. She can go and do something else and build her wealth and have her kids come over and whatnot and take care of her kids the best way she can. Leave them with him and let him do his thing. He can have full custody. He ain't gonna do nothing but get a nanny. He ain't gonna do nothing but get a nanny anyway. Neil here pimping, trying to be Nick Cannon. Nah, he ain't pimping. He just, man, some people just reckless. Just reckless. And that shows that you're not even protecting yourself, which means you're not even protecting your wife, right? He not even protecting himself because you don't know where those ladies have been. Not to say they've been all through up and down, but you just don't know. And that lady got married to you, and listen, this is what people fail to realize why people get mad. This is why people get mad because you were cheating. This is why people get mad if you do what you're supposed to do. When we got married, your health status was no HIV, no STDs, no nothing. So when we are married and we continue this marriage, I'm expecting that to stay the same. That's what I'm expecting. So when you come back from being over whatever you did and your status changed and my status changed, I'm mad. I don't care what you say, I'm mad. I'm mad. It wasn't nothing. She was just a friend. You say she's just a friend. And you say she's just a friend. Oh, baby, now you come back here and now you got monkeypox. Now you gonna give me monkeypox. Oh, and by the way, you gonna give me chlamydia, gonorrhea. Oh, and by the way, I got C-19. You gonna give me all of that? Child back. Child back. Child boo. The issue, we married, you don't want me to work, then you cheat, she not happy, wants to leave, and he don't want her to have nothing. I get it. whoever come in gonna cuss those other kids out daily. Yeah. I'm just saying, man, it's just certain things you just gotta think about, right? All right, go back to the article. All right, so Mary was married for 4 years, getting a divorce. That's how that came up. Enjoys an inviolable degree of financial independence. The West Village residence owns her own apartment, which she bought in 2019 for $900,000 and then renovated it. In June, she closed on a summer home in New Jersey, Long Beach Island, with her sister Christina, who's a few years older and also single with no kids. Ashley figures she's taken 10 trips in the last 12 months, often with friends from a group of about 25 people who are largely unmarried and don't have children. It's a group of them. I found this group so interesting and compelling and fascinating, says Anna Dickinson, 41, who recently traveled to Napa Valley with Mario and some of their friends. All these people are smart, talented, put together, and they don't have kids. They're very independent. Says, I don't know if they're independent. I don't know that you just, you just get everything, take care of yourself. I don't know if that's independent. That's funny. Well, I'll say something about that real quick. This is what's funny when I see very independent, because this is what I see. Even with my mom, even with older parents, this is what ends up happening with older parents. You go to help them out, and the first thing they say as they get older, "Don't help me," because they don't want to feel like you're taking their life away, their control away. So it's so funny as with your older parents and stuff like that. They were like, I don't want you to do that for me. I do it for myself. I do it for myself, right? They don't want you to do that. So I find that very funny when we say independent, because when parents get older, they really don't want you to do that. D said, I know a man who cheated and his wife told him to take the kids, which choices have consequences, and they do. Let's see. The very independent says Dickinson, a product manager at Google, who is divorced and now lives with her boyfriend of 5 years in Manhattan Hill Kitchen. And I was like, I want that. I want to do all of that. But again, I won't continue to read this. I was a little longer. But again, that's what's happening. So let's talk about what single mothers are doing. Let's talk about it. Here we go.
All these visions of this young girl growing up in the South, in rural poverty, living down a dirt road, having nothing. And getting to the point where I actually have $1 million net worth. It was just the greatest feeling ever. My name is Jackie Cummings-Koski. I live in Southwestern Ohio, and I achieved FIRE at the age of 49 with $1.3 million. I came to my FIRE number after learning that you do 25 times your expenses, and that totally made sense to me. My FIRE number was right at $1 million. My expenses were between like $40,000 to $45,000 a year. So I reached that FIRE number when I was 46, but I wasn't quite ready to retire at that point. I ended up working for 2 more years, and I actually liked my job, so I wasn't in any rush to run away. I wanted a little more of a cushion. So I worked for a couple more years and retired on December 6th of 2019. My relationship with money growing up was that it was always scarce. We basically lived in poverty, but I was raised by a single dad with 6 kids. I don't know how he did it. We barely made it. We barely scraped by. So as I, went through college and started my own career, I always had this nagging feeling that I just never wanted to be back in poverty again. I had to pay my own way through school. So I was working full time and I was taking a full load of classes. I was getting paid peanuts, but finally I had my own money. I really felt rich at that point. And when I look back, I don't even know how I was able to do it. I learned more from that than I learned from what was being taught in the classroom. A lot of people do think that you have to make over 6 figures, but because there's so many variables and factors that you need to look at, I was always wanting to be smart with the money that I had versus thinking that having a higher income was always the thing that got me ahead. I was a single mom for so many years that if I were to sort of do the hard hustle to try to make more money, that would be time away from my daughter. So I figured the best way to approach it is to just do more and be smarter with the money that I had. Not much has changed in terms of my budget. I'm still spending roughly $40,000 to $45,000 a year. So my monthly expenses probably run about $3,000 to $4,000. So my mortgage is about $1,000 a month. I don't have a car payment. I own that outright. Grocery would be in there. I want to say maybe that's $400 to $500 a month. Maybe I'll go out to eat a couple of times. Maybe go out to drink with friends. Expenses like, utilities, cell phone, things like that. All in, I'm usually between $3,000 and $4,000. And some of those expenses may even be, tax deductible because I have my own little business. I'm not the frugalist and I'm not the minimalist or any of those things. But I think, again, going back to my background and growing up, I think that just helped me, have it be a part of how I did everything. I own my own home. That is the only real estate that I own. Just about all of my money is in the stock market. I primarily do index funds. However, I'm one of those crazy people that actually enjoy investing in single stocks as well. My company 401k was a huge help. Again, I was there for 20 years. The matching that we got was if you put in 7% in your 401k, the company would match you 9%. And that is far beyond what most companies offer. So of course, took advantage of that. The biggest chunk of my investments was in my 401k. That helped grow my net worth tremendously. A really big milestone for most people is when you hit the $1 million net worth mark. And I think I was 46 when I hit that number. I feel like I have so much more opportunity because I don't have the stress of work. I don't have the pressure of structuring my day or my efforts and activities based on what someone else wants. So I get to channel all of my energy towards what I really love, what I consider my life's work. I love the outdoors. So I love hiking, walking, but it has to be in a beautiful place. And there's this park really close to my house that I try to go to nearly every day. And I just enjoy like smelling the roses and just taking a deep breath and enjoying being outside. I think we make a mistake by trying to assume that everyone has the same hierarchy that we do in terms of how we spend our money. And I'm always defaulting to those things that really don't matter. Like if I can get a better deal on my cell phone, that's not going to matter much to me. If I'm going to look at my home insurance or my car insurance, and just because I shopped around, I got a slightly cheaper price, that's not going to change much for me. But if I'm going to save a few bucks, then I'll do it. There are things that I have decided I wanted to do. And that is just that's just a feeling I never thought I would have. And I love my days now because I get to set them up the way that I want, and I can just breathe more.
What are your thoughts? I'm gonna tell you some of mine because I went ahead and I um I looked at the comments on this one, right? And there was some negative comments, of course. Some of the negative comments were, I didn't know Niggers could count. I didn't know they could count. Some of the comments were, so it is a lie that women are actually making more money than men. Then there were like other comments was, yep, some comments was it's not enough. Um, Again, she has a business on the side. She's only doing 40 to 45,000. She's 49. Um, who knows? Who knows if she's gonna? Who she probably doing conservative. If she is in the stock market, she may be conservative. They're like she's definitely paying a penalty for retiring early. Y'all can see those comments. Let me blow them up right quick. Right here. The stock market has really been tough. One this past month, but I watched an interview on CNBC with the anchor Jim Cramer. Keep mentioning Karina Matis. Yeah, I don't know. That's a scam. If you don't build your dream, someone else will hire you to help you build theirs. Right? She's the smartest person I've seen her. Serious go girl, looking good, living good, having expenses low. I just seen different comments, right? No shade. We see making videos to feature YouTube that feature YouTube influencers. Do you be seeing just a normal everyday woman who made her money the old fashioned way is a wholesome. Congrats on achieving fire. So I wanted to bring this one over to. I've talked about it before. I've talked about him before. He's actually out here in Colorado. Um, And again, I think a lot of times you have to take CNBC make it. I don't think everybody reports everything, right? I don't think everybody gonna report everything, right? She didn't say how much her side business made, right? So here is Dave.
Look at the dividends and all of the positions I'm in. It's been a while since I've done a video like this, kind of documenting where all these accounts are. The markets have been in a major rumble the last several months here, and the portfolio is down pretty good, but the dividends are holding up. So that's what we're going to go through in this video. So let's not waste any time. Let's go and get started.
I think he retired with 2 million. If I'm not
So we're just looking at the
mistaken.
overview of all my accounts here. Now there is a couple accounts that are not shown here, but we will still go through those accounts as well. Just today we're down $6,700.
Yeah, because you can look here, you can see His invested account is 918. His cash free account is 222 million. Account totals is 1.1 million. And then he has an annual dividend income of 56 million. His monthly dividend income is 4722. His daily dividend income is $155. And then he also has a HSA. I think his HSA, he has $16,000 into it as well too. But he's an old tech guy that did the fire movement and retired. Came out with his channel. He's gone now from this one. He has another YouTube channel. I don't know if he put it in here. Let's see. You want finance? Off the grid. Here's his off the grid channel right here.
Hey everybody, Dave here, hitting off grid, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here or you came from
and he hitting off grid. He went hiking, and here's his stuff. Hamburg, Pennsylvania. You see it, and got his beard on. D. You see the beard, and he's just living his life, right? This is what he's doing now. And now he's just basically showing. I think he went on the Appalachian Trail. I think he's doing 4 to 6 months up on the Appalachian Trail, and just living life off the grid, right? And having his portfolio make money and doing his thing. This is what he's doing now, right? Going for his life, living. Here's his campsite and the whole nine, right? Yeah. So hey.
Yeah, but doesn't look like it's gonna last. It'll probably burn up.
He's single. Never been married, don't have no kids. So here's here you go. All right, single, married, never been married, don't have no kids. Right. Let's see what you say. Yeah. She continued to learn beyond the workplace and college, and is a risk taker that manages risk well. Yep, she's got peaceful energy. Yeah, we don't know what our plans are for our second phase. Right? We don't know what our plans were. But again, people live differently, live how they want to. All right, so on this right here, this was sent over to me last night, so I'm just gonna put this out here. All right. Let me tell you. I'll tell you who sent it to me. Hold on. JR sent it to me. JR sent it to me. He's been on the platform before. But anyway, this is an Amazon dedicated cloud engineer 3 commerce platform. Would you like to implement innovative cloud computing solutions to solve the world's complex technical problems? Do you have a deep passion and desire to engineer and operate the world's largest cloud computing infrastructure to build a better world for future generations? It's an exciting opportunity that to use the latest cloud computing technologies to help the U.S. government agencies implement innovative cloud solutions and solve technical problems. AWS established a specialized group of service teams responsible for work we are doing with the U.S. intelligence community. We are building some of the largest, most complex distributed systems in the world, so forth and so on. Competitive salary, 401k, blah, 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 RSUs, long-term stable. I won't go through that. You do need a security clearance, so I'll be able to get one. TSSCI. This position sits in Seattle, Washington, or Denver, Colorado. You'll be working with the people that you think you're going to be working with. I'll just say that, right? About the team, the AWS CP, dedicated cloud engineering operations team, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to end that right there, and I'm going to get down to why I brought this job up, because this job is you need to be in Seattle or you need to be in Colorado, but the pay range for this particular position is from 275,000 to 380,000. Yeah. So the jobs based in Colorado are and virtual jobs where it can be where work can be performed in Colorado. Colorado, the pay range for this position in Colorado is 275 to 380. However, the base pay offered may vary depending on the job related skills and experience. A sign-on bonus and RSUs may be provided as part of the compensation package in addition to a full range of medical and financial and so forth. So I just wanted to bring that up, right? Because people tell you that these jobs don't exist. People tell you that people don't make money out here. People will tell you that you don't have to make it. Nobody's gonna pay you. Blah blah blah. Yes, I do know Amazon is slowing down on their hiring, but the government is not slowing down on their spending. And I guarantee you, more of these jobs are gonna be out there. All right. If anyone is interested in Amazon, they have a networking event this week. Yep, in Atlanta, they have networking events every time, all the time. All right, all right. Yep. So, I don't know what y'all doing out there. I don't know where y'all at, but I keep trying to tell you, pick a cloud, any cloud, get you some Linux skills. If you gonna work with the government, you gonna need some Linux skills. I'm telling you. Right here, 5 years of system administration experience, Linux skills, Windows experience with working and scripting language, excellent communications skills, and ability to work well in a team. In lieu of relevant job experience, a degree in computer engineering, computer science, and computer engineering, and current U.S. security clearance of top secret or above. Right. Um, about the team that you're going to be working with. Air Gap Solutions. The team is comprised of individuals who require security clearance to access ADC regions. The CP ADC Ops team works with CP team or CP teams to support services running in these regions and provide uncleared engineers with the insight needed to develop and run their products in ADC regions. Right. So you're supporting, right? Standard SOPs. If they have problems, call in. Can you help them out? Blah 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 blah. So let's talk about it. Let's go. Let's say 275 to 380. Let's say you come in about. Let's say you super smart. We're gonna go max it out. Let's max it out 380. Right. Just max it out. Let me find my calculator here. Max it out. Tam like to give you the real deal. Can y'all see that calculator? I mean, I don't know. Hold on. When I do Zoom, it does that. So let's not do that. All right, so 380. And you do have to pay taxes in Colorado. You gotta pay state and federal in Colorado. All right. So I'm gonna be missing some taxes here. I'm just gonna multiply. Oh, hold on. Let's not do multiply by 0.7. Let's go and look that up. I think that may be 0.65. Maybe 0.65. Oh yeah. Oh, perfect. I didn't have to do much work. Let's do this one. All right. So let's do that. All right. In 2022, the U.S. calculated 380K salary example before reviewing the exact calculation of 380 after tax salary example. It is important to first understand that setting we use the U.S. calculator. I don't want to understand the setting. I just want to do a simple calculation. There's like your federal taxes that we do is 102,000. They got Idaho here, whatnot tax, but so basically, after everything has been done, give or take here, depending upon the state, right? It's about 234,000 that you're left with, right? 234,000 is what is the 235 as a that's net, right? So again, let me see, do they break it down here? Yearly, monthly, yep, they break it down with your Medicare and everything. I'll put this in the chat so y'all can go back and use this. This is like for Idaho, but I'm gonna give y'all this so y'all can use this because I think you can switch this out for different cities. It's just an illustration. I put this in the back chat. Let's go and do something else. I think it's 0.65. Let me pull that back up. Uh, I didn't include Colorado. So anyway, yeah, because you still need to take out state income tax and also the taxes that you would need for this particular state. All right. So I didn't do that. All right. So we just guesstimating here. All right. And let's just divide that by 12. So roughly about 20,000 a month after taxes. All right. Roughly. And I'm using the term roughly loosely. Do you think the salary is lower for other states? No, I don't think the salary may be lower for other states. I think it depends on the position, and I also think it depends on the type of work. So no, I don't think it's lower for other states. Like, would it be lower if you were in DC? No. Um, Seattle, no. I think it is really dependent on the level and so forth, right? Yeah, that's what I think. Anyway, there's 20,000 a month. So can you make it off of 20,000 a month? Let me know if you can and can't. Some people can't. Some people can't make it off of 20,000 a month. It's just it is what it is. All right, let's move on. So you got that. All right. And do I have much time I got left, D? Let me see. I got 5 minutes. I have 5 minutes. All right. So getting into some stock stuff here. Oh, it's 56 minutes. We ain't gonna spend it long. It says you could go look at this. I'll probably do a review on this. I need to do a review on this. So ASML, you can look them up. Ticker symbol ASML. You can look at TSMC and Intel about dominating the chip market. But also remember the Build Back, was it Build Back Better plan? And the new plan that just came out about building chips here in the US, that is going to be huge. So something you need to be thinking about, again, about investing and so forth. So I'll say that for later on. SoFi. So Volkswagen plans to float Porsche in one of the world's largest listings in history, right? Volkswagen announced earlier this week to float sports car brand Porsche. The car maker published what is known as an intention to float it for an IPO, which could occur later this month or in early October. It could also become one of the world's largest listings in history, given that the cachet and brand recognition associated with Porsche. Still, there are challenges associated with the IPO market at the present. Record inflation has put pressure on growth stocks, while ongoing Russia and Ukraine war has caused energy market disruptions and so forth, right? So they're saying some estimates suggest that Porsche IPO could become the biggest in German history. Data from Refinitiv indicates that the deal has potential to be Europe's biggest since 1999, when the Italian energy firm Enel went public. All right. So what do you think? Would you invest in Porsche as an IPO? Would you invest in Porsche as an IPO? You know the brand. You know it's been around a long time. All right. So everybody always refers to Fang and as the Facebook, what was it, Facebook, Netflix, Google, and I forget the two A's, Apple, and I forget the other A off the top of my head. But now they're saying it's Matana, right? And it goes like this. It says it's time to rethink who's at the top of the big tech food chain. Constellation Research analyst founder Wang told Yahoo Finance. Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, Amazon was the other one, is an upgrade to fame by dropping Meta and Netflix while adding Microsoft, Tesla, and Nvidia. Right? Dropping Microsoft, dropping damn it, what I just say? Just quit damn it, Meta and Netflix. Right? So again, Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, and Amazon and Google. So again, when you look at the companies, I know a lot of y'all like to go for the big companies and like to work at those big companies and make your money. You can. I'm not saying you can't, but I'm also saying that you also should be looking at um, what they offer. Again, every company, all these companies have I know someone from Facebook was talking about banking. You don't think Amazon got banking positions, compliance that they need to hit from a banking perspective, or customers who are banks that want to come onto their platform, and how that translates as well too. How do they go from doing something on prem and maybe in a hybrid situation to a cloud compliance rules that they need to meet and so forth. And we're gonna really talk about compliance on the next show. All right. So in 2013, when Kramer's Mad Money coined the term fame, many of those companies were thought of as startups who taken their respective markets by storm. This was especially true of Meta, then Face, which was then Facebook and Netflix, right? But now Wayne said both should be reassessed. Meta, in particular, needs a plan. Facebook has got to do something besides add, and he told Yahoo Finance once again they're taking a beating for it. So it is going to it is going to be the glasses. It's going to be the metaverse. We're not there yet, and that's really kind of what the challenge is, right? So metaverse and so forth. I mean, people still haven't adapted. It's not an everyday thing. Your grandmama ain't doing it, not yet, not yet. You know, your favorite rapper, and some of them may be doing it, but it ain't really caught on yet, right? All right. So this just your FYI on that one. This one here, and it's gonna be the end of our show right here. Elon Musk plans on a Tesla lithium factory, Neuralink campus in Texas. Filings indicate. Also, he also is putting in an airport over there because he wants his people to be able to the private airport to be able to fly in and out on their airport. So I'm just giving you, if you're not invested in Tesla, they just had a stock split. They had a stock split earlier this year. Apple, make sure you go invest. This is not financial advice. These are just financial options, right? Hidden freedom, create wealth for yourself, again, get in the game, just try. If you make 46,000, how do you plan on doubling that money, right? I need everybody to be a minimum at 200K, but if you ain't gonna get a minimum of 200, at least get a minimum of 100. Again, it don't go far in a lot of these major cities, and I don't know what to tell you on that, but I'm giving you options on how you can make more money. And you can make more money with real estate, and you can make more money with your own skill sets. Again, you are a business, you are an asset, you are your future. You are your future, and you may be even your family's future, right? All right. So with that being said, we're gonna end the show right here. Remember, hit the like and subscribe button. Everybody should be working in the family. Dion don't like it when I say it included the roaches. But again, when we get out here and we'll start talking about what we're doing, what our future goals are, remember, doing an analysis on folks. Everybody's not made to own a home. Everybody can't own a home. Everybody don't know what it takes to own a home, right? So do your research on that, right? And do your research on your partners, including your jobs, because your jobs look at you as you coming in as well too. All right, y'all be safe.